I'm reshooting this video. Originally, this video was fire that I did. I don't know if I'll be able to replicate it. For some reason, the app just shut down. Okay, but I'm gonna do this video again. So I'm gonna talk about the Pistons going after Giannis, and I'm gonna talk about Darius, Acuff, right, and Darryn Peterson. It'll make sense, right? Charlie Short Pistons top players. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. So Giannis Antetokounmpo said that he wants to stay on the East Coast. Apparently, his family went back to Greece. He wants to be on the East Coast to be closer to Greece. Don't ask me what the flight looked like. I've never been to Greece, right? So, cool. Then his next preference is not only stay on the Eastern Conference, his next preference is also to go somewhere in the Eastern Conference with without a ball dominant guard. And you start thinking about the teams, and I don't have the list of teams in front of me, but you start thinking about the list of teams. New York got a ball dominant guard. Brooklyn don't really have much right now. So maybe he figuring to go to Brooklyn, they get a high draft pick. Philadelphia got Tyrese Maxey, high, scoring lead guard type of guard. Minnesota could be going east. Okay, and let me explain that. Interject real quick. So apparently the NBA is voting to add 2 teams. It's already seemed that they would add 2 teams. So 1 team from the Western Conference will move to the East. The 2 teams they're looking to add, 1 in Las Vegas and 1 allegedly in Seattle or Mexico. Hopefully it's Seattle. David Stern promised them a team, and then he went to that upper room. So that means Memphis, most likely Memphis or Minnesota is moving to the Eastern Conference, okay? So maybe playing Ant-Man and them, they run a good ball unit where they move the ball a lot, and it's not really ball dominant in my opinion. I think Ant is ball dominant because he has to be in some situation, but they move the ball a lot. They got a lot of flex, options, cuts, all that type of stuff. I'm fine with that, right? Then you look, Toronto, I mean, if you go up there, they really don't have they got Brandon Ingram. He really like to point everything quickly. It might work up there with them. They got some assets to flip as well, too. Obviously, so I say Toronto's on the short list. The Hornets, they got LaMelo Ball. They rising, but I don't think he want to play with a ball dominant guy like LaMelo Ball. Even though LaMelo learned to have structure and discipline, I think that'd be a great place because he'll feed you, but he just shoot the ball too much. He ain't really learned to be a true point guard. Miami's a good place, but I don't think they got the resources or the firepower. But I've thrown them on their list. Orlando is a good place. I think that's the best fit, and I'll explain that in a minute. Cleveland, obviously, they got, Devon Mitchell and James Harden right now. That ain't going to work. So them just the teams I can actually think of. Indiana with Tyrese Halliburton, he get a ball up, so I don't really think that's a problem. He would, but would he want to go to Indiana, stay in Minnesota? Orlando's the best fit to me is because they got assets they want to move. Paulo just threw the coach under the bus after the Pistons won. Talking about, we didn't make halftime adjustments because of the coach. That is what it is. So I think Orlando would be a good fit. They need a point guard. Giannis want to control the maestro. They probably will move Paolo Banchero and some people there. Probably keep Bang, Franz, and Giannis. That'll make a lot of sense. They got Wendell Carter still. They got some young guys on there. Anthony Black, Jet Howard starting to play a little bit. So, obviously I think it'll be a package surrounded around Paolo Banchero. Him going to Minnesota, Milwaukee and some picks and probably a couple other players off that team. They got I love Orlando. Y'all know I love that young talent. So I think him beefing with the coach, Paulo probably going to be going up out of there. So I think Orlando got the assets. It's a great fit. It's a great, it's South. It's still on the East Coast, but the South. I think it's a great fit. It's Orlando's not the worst community to go to. It's pretty warm. So I think him going there. But I think Detroit would be a good fit too for him. We got assets, we got picks, which I'm gonna talk about in a minute. I think we move the ball well. I think K don't want to be a ball dominant guy. I think he likes getting people involved. They run an offense in which people move and cut. I don't think K would mind deferring to Giannis a little bit. Let Giannis, run the ball and lay up and do the things that he do. Defensively, you upgrade at the Tobias Harris position. I think him and Darryn can work well together. But I think outside of that, shooting is a premium at that point. The adjustments that you must make shooting-wise is a premium. So if you don't shoot the ball well, you don't find shooters to go with them, that's going to be an issue. Darryn, Giannis, Cade. So obviously I believe Asar Thompson is going to be in that deal, but can you get Ryan to shoot the ball a little bit better? Can you get Beasley to come back? His career is probably over, but if you can get Beasley, that'll help. And then if you go out there and find guys that can shoot, you can develop Chaz Lanier or something. You're probably going to lose some picks in there. So can you get guys that can come in and give you more shooting? I mean, Duncan Robinson is pretty good. Wu is pretty good. You're going to keep him around. Dennis Jenkins, most of their shooting is on the bench. Sasser, I think he might be on his last year's deal. Don't quote me on that. Stu is not a bad stretch five right now. Karis LeVert, he's struggling. He might be in the deal. Tobias might be a sign and trade. Asar might be in the deal. Might be 3 or 4 first-round picks going. So the question is, can you prepare guys like Chaz Lanier? Can you get Ron Hollins to shoot the ball well? Or if you keep Ron Hollins and you keep Asar and you trade Ron, one of them going to be going in the deal. Can you get shooting is the question. That's the thing about Giannis, to shoot. You're going to upgrade defensively from Tobias Harris. You're going to have another superstar, Cade and Giannis. I don't think the playoff run is going to go like some Piston fans are optimistic. I think the real true Piston fans, or the real true thought is, they might make the second round. They might make the Eastern Conference. They just don't have enough, especially if they don't get somebody else to wake up like Kevin Huerter or Karis LeVert to wake up to help. So, but the conventional thought is that they may go out there and get a guy like Kyrie Irving. They might go, who will be a lot cheaper than Giannis. They might go out there and get, another guy that could be available, which I don't really know who all could be available, but DeRozan or Levine or one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? They can go out there and get somebody else and add that extra score to them, and maybe we're willing to move Trey Murphy. Pistons have assets galore. So, I wouldn't mind them getting Giannis. I think it's a great fit. I don't think Cade would, really mind that guy coming there. And, but honestly, like I said, Kyrie, I think that's a great fit for him coming to Detroit. He had a lot of baggage, but, an alternative view to it, which that was just going to be the video. And I thought about it before I did the original video. Like, there's Acuff. Some people think he a top 3 guard. Shout out to Rashard Phillips. He's a great eye for scouting on X. And just in general, he played at UAD. Used to watch him play there all the time. Acuff went to Cavs. That's the only questions you really have about him, is how would he perform being back home, the training facility at home. A lot of people can't handle it. I remember Sauce Gardner said he didn't want to play for Detroit Lions because he didn't want to be back home. But maybe he can handle it. Maybe that's why he went to Arkansas. But Calipari is a hell of a segue to the NBA. But I think that's be a good fit for Acuff, bro. Detroit Pistons. I think playing next to Cade allows you to play any guard next to him, a defensive mind, a catch and shoot guy, an aggressive combo guard, a true point guard next to Cade. I mean, I think Cade and Acuff would be nice. Acuff has shown the ability to score, make the extra pass. I think under control. He's saucy. I don't know how big he is, no Diddy, but Cade don't matter. Cade can take the tougher assignments. He gritty, he tough, he can shoot the ball well, he can facilitate, and I think that's an upgrade. You put Acuff, he can seem like he can shoot the ball pretty good with Cade. That's a great look like there. And you got assets where you can move up the draft board. You know what I'm saying? You can trade some of these guys and try to, move up the draft board. Some people feel like, he should be a top 3 pick. And some people feel like he might fall to the top 10 pick. He might fall in the lottery for whatever reason. But he's a hell of a player. Instant firecracker, instant scorer next to Cade Cunningham. Don't got to get an old Kyrie. Ain't got to worry about fitting Giannis and getting more shooting. He's that guy right now. So I think that's a good look. Darryn Peterson may fall in the draft due to some concerns about him taking the money and then subbing himself out and, claiming, getting PTO to get the fuck up out of there. So that's the thing as well too. So Darryn Peterson may fall, and I think there may be opportunities for the Pistons to take some assets and get one of those guys if they fall and move up the draft board. I feel like that's a real thing, but it's a lot of good talent coming out. It's not just those 2 guys. They may stay where Minnesota pick at, or whatever pick is higher. They might, where they pick at, they might still get a good pick. There may be 10 or 15 guys that may make an all-star appearance at some point in their career in this draft. So, but yeah, man, I definitely think, a guy like Acuff for making a power move for Darryn Peterson. Why not? You're a young team. You got good professional young veterans there. That might be a good look for them. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Peace.